It's full of stars.
With the launch of Fallout 76, to say things could have gone better is, well, an understatement. There's been a lot of videos out over the last 2 months going over things like bags or substandard plastic modeling, the extra $200 Power Armor Edition, the immediate fire sale of the game shortly after launch, and of course all the numerous glitches. Instead, I want to journey back to the exciting year of 1985. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's so special about the year 1985, and how does it relate to Fallout? Well, back in 1985, we got this exciting movie that came out in New Zealand called The Quiet Earth. And the general idea is that a scientist guy had just committed suicide. And he wakes up confused, possibly hungover, naked and alone in a hotel room in a strange place. So he goes out into town and finds a very interesting thing. Nobody's there. Everyone's gone. It's as if everyone has vanished. He makes his way into the city, and there's no people. And what happens is a slow and very sad descent into madness as he is left all alone. And he has to try to come to terms with the fact that what he did might have actually killed everyone. And of course, his eventual attempt to take his own life. Now, that's a very poor summary of the movie, but what does it have to do with Fallout 76? Well, as you might have heard, what sets this game apart from all the other Fallouts is that there are no NPCs. Now, I know all kinds of people online have said, oh, but there's the robots. Yeah, they're just robot automatons. They're not actually people you can interact with. All the people are dead. It's just like Red Dwarf.
Where is everybody on?
They're dead, Dave.
Who is?
Everybody, Dave.
What, Captain Hollister?
Everybody's dead, Dave.
What, Todd Hunter?
Everybody's dead, Dave.
What, Selby?
They're all dead. Everybody's dead, Dave.
Everybody is dead. They're all dead. Every quest that you get from a robot, every place that you go, everyone is dead. And it's very discouraging, and it makes the world feel far more emptier than a normal Fallout. And what's even more funny is that, much to their chagrin, they do brag that they made the map in Fallout 76 several times larger than their normal older maps. And what this does is it actually amplifies the feeling of what it would probably be like after some kind of a nuclear strike. After the initial chaos and confusion is that most people would be dead. And it is very surreal. I don't know if they intentionally expected this kind of a vibe or unintentionally, but as you go out, there could be other players on the map. If there's a large level difference between the two, it's usually better if you avoid each other, as all of the monsters that do spawn will spawn basically leveled up to the highest player. So if you're level 5 and someone comes by that's level 150, yes, you are going to die a lot. So this had the effect of users basically avoiding each other in this game. If you remember from the launch, this was going to be the social Fallout, and instead this has become the anti-social Fallout. It is very rare to actually run across users on the wild. And if you do, usually they will ignore you and possibly even run away. It is incredibly isolating. And this is the larger problem, is that you explore, and if someone has gone before you and everything has not responded, all you find is more dead bodies, more emptiness, more nothing. You know, your only hope is to either jump servers or wait for things to magically respawn, which of course is it really breaks the immersion, watching everything either fall from the sky or come forth from the ground. But you know, you do it over and over and over. There's no sense of having cleared an area, because it will come back. You never make any real impact on anything, because it being a multiplayer, adventure, it has to reset the world state. And it feels like Groundhog Day. Every day you wake up, it's the same day. Every day it is going to be, Grifton Day. It's the same grind every day. Nothing you do matters, because it's going to be tomorrow, and tomorrow was today, and today was yesterday. It feels like almost a joke unto itself of being stuck in a Groundhog Day simulation, that there's absolutely no point to it. And it's something that, as a premise or as a movie or in a book, it sounds more exciting than it really is to actually play a post-apocalyptic RPG and a Groundhog Day type scenario. It's depressing, it's like, why bother? There's no point of like, oh, let me try this different, because you'll die and you'll come back again, or the world will reset itself as if nothing ever happened. The only proof you have of anything is your stash box, which is ridiculously tiny. You're forced to collect ridiculous things to keep your weapons up. Melee combat is a horrible joke. The electric weapons like lasers and plasma rifles are absolutely worthless. So you find yourself looting bodies and trying to rebuild, shitty pipe guns. And for what? It's like the game isn't fun. It's not something that you say, oh, this is going to be fun, let's play it with friends. Well, let me tell you, if you're not playing with friends, it's a bizarre experiment. It feels like something that belongs in a Fallout vault, living in a world with no point, and I'm sitting here. I've played on and off for probably like 20-30 hours. I have a life and stuff, so I don't have a lot of time to play these games, and I'm kind of happy I got it on sale, but I think I'm done. It's like I don't care about the world, because it doesn't matter. You're not going to have any impact on it, and even if you did, it's only a few hours until tomorrow, or yesterday, or today, and the world's going to reset. So whatever you had done, it's not going to matter. And it's kind of interesting in a way, because in the previous Fallouts, when you interact with people, Yeah, I mean, I know they're all machines, they're all NPCs, but, there's that glimmer of like you're following the story and it's like you're making a difference, even when the NPC has completely exhausted their dialogue branch, but, it's come to that point. It does not wake up in that Groundhog Day of, oh, hi, there you are, from a machine, basically giving you a fetch grandma's slippers from the desert task over and over and over. And rest assured, every day it's Groundhog Day, grandma's slippers are buried in the desert. And is that kind of thing fun? It really isn't. It's like it's taken some of the best elements of a roguelike game and said, you know what would be fun? Static maps, static random number generator, and just static everything, so you can literally play the same game over and over and over and over. And I've got to say that the more I play Fallout 76, the more depressing it is. It really feels almost like a suicide simulator. I can totally almost empathize with Bill Murray when he takes the toaster and tries to sit in the bathtub, jump in front of the train. Like, is it going to change anything? Will it matter? And then the ultimate work point is no. It doesn't change anything. It has no impact because all it does is hasten the acceleration to tomorrow. Yeah, I guess that's the takeaway, is that a game world with no stakes whatsoever and absolutely zero persistence just isn't fun. But I never really played World of Warcraft that much, so I'm not so sure how all the other ones did it, but I would imagine they did it better than this. Yeah, so I guess that's my review in a nutshell of the world, is that it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Game mechanic wise, it is, well, I mean, it is Fallout, but it's got a couple of catches. You cannot break down your ammunition, so whatever you find or whatever you make, that is it. If you're sitting on a ton of 42s and you say, oh boy, I would love to melt them down and make some 308s, it's not going to happen. You're supposed to, quote, trade with other players, but nobody trusts each other. Go on Reddit and all you'll hear about is people dupe farming and copying their inventory over and over again to crash the server. So no one's going to trade with each other. And then you've got people actually selling stuff that they've duped on eBay for physical cash. Why people would buy them is totally beyond me, but, insert current year, I guess, whatever. Yeah, so why sell it for in-game caps when you can sell it for US dollars? And I guess if you can find buyers, go ahead, man. Why not? And yeah, so the game economy is basically stillborn. It died on day one. The vendors have a 200 cap limit, which people will exhaust in the beginning of Groundhog Day immediately. So that's a lost cause. Your best and only hope for caps is perk cards and go digging, but what's the point? The vendors will be out of shit real soon. The only thing you can really do with caps is fast travel and move your base. Woohoo! Who cares? Yeah, going back to gameplay. So yeah, the ammunition thing's kind of a pain in the butt. Weapons break down a hell of a lot faster. If you've modified a weapon and you say, oh, this is a level 5, I want to break it down and then get a upgraded level 10 gun or some nonsense, all your upgrades are gone. Everything disappears. So if you do make something really sophisticated in an early level because you happen to find all this great stuff lying around by some higher level person, if you think you can reclaim any of that when you break it down, you are in for a big surprise. You get nothing. And speaking of levels, weapons are all leveled. So again, if you're following someone that's a much higher level, you can end up with all these great weapons that are substantially higher level than you are, which means that they're heavy and you can't use them. And if you break them down into parts, they're very common, not important, and very boring parts. So, wow, that's a thing. That's fantastic. You know, same goes for armor. You know, it's the same nonsense. It's and it just makes the game just a continuous grind looking for springs and various metals and glue to keep everything together. Which I guess is the way it's supposed to feel, but you know, it's not that much of an adventure. It just feels like crap. And speaking of feeling like crap, then there's the VATS. So, Fallout combat has always been first-person shooter that was really fucking terrible. But it was saved by the VAT system where you would hit this auto-targeting thing. It would basically pause combat. And it would introduce, you know, like an RPG, you know, dice roll almost, element to the game where it would stop. And you could say, oh, I've got, you know, 5% chance to hit someone at this point. Well, maybe I'll look at someone else. Or introduce a level of strategy. But, you know, in a multiplayer, real-time game, that is not going to work. So VATS becomes some ridiculous auto-aim bot. And it can swing wildly from 100% chance to hit to 0 in a second. So you have to be super fast on the trigger to use it. And honestly, I found it so bad that it's usually better to try to hit things from a distance or just try to get better with iron sights. Or even the magic target dot, which I've been using lately, because why not? And yeah, much better luck. I have emptied clips using VATS and hit nothing. And at least taking control myself, I've done a lot better, which you watch me play here. I'm pretty terrible. I'm not pretty terrible, I'm absolutely terrible. No need to fake it, but it's better that way. In one way, I guess it's almost a nice thing to feel more in control because you're not relying on the machine. Although a heightened level of perception, you know, to activate the radar, that always helps. I guess that's, you know, the same old way of Fallout cheating in that sense. You just pan and scan and you'll be alerted to anything nearby. But yeah, that's the big changes in the mechanic. And does it make it for a better game? Not really. Different. I think what they're going for is more of a just real grindy, like it didn't feel so ridiculous in the other Fallouts. And I think it was actually promote some kind of an in-game economy, but it's too late. As soon as people were duplicating items like crazy, people using these grenade bouquet debug things where you could keep hitting them and leveling up to absolutely insane levels within minutes. XP farming, you know, they kind of killed it. In a lot of ways, you know, the whole world needs to be reset or advanced one more day. But, you know, it's going to piss everyone off. You know, because of their only real way is to like wipe the slate clean so that people don't have 10 million 9mm rounds to sell. And of course, if they sell any of them, they'll just dupe back to another 9 million or something ridiculous. Yeah, and you know, it's kind of to be expected. It's like, in a lot of ways, playing it, you know, it's really impressive. They've been able to take this old engine and, you know, modify it with the Quake World engine and get it multiplayer. I mean, it's still the same old engine in a lot of ways, but you know, old engines can be taught new tricks. That kind of thing doesn't bother me so much. But what I find really surprising is that this engine has been, you know, basically legendary for its bugs and its ability to do all kinds of ridiculous things, including falling through the floor, falling through ceilings, being able to jump up ceilings to the top of the world, and of course item duplication. It's like Bethesda doesn't play their own games, or doesn't try to read on ways that people exploit their own games, which when it's single player, it doesn't matter. If you want to duplicate your money or anything else in game with single player, it doesn't mean anything. But once when you make it multiplayer and there's an ability for someone to sell something from one person to another using these bugs that have been here for years, well, that's just asking for a lot of trouble. And I'm still just in many ways so amazed at just the lackluster effort for the playtesting. The beta program was a joke. I mean, we can all admit it. I didn't pre-order anything because I thought the price was absolutely ludicrous. I figured I'd buy it when it came out on sale, and I guess it's kind of nice not paying 60 US. I only paid 40, but now that it's 16 euros, I'd much rather have paid that, although that does require a European IP address, European activation. No love for Asia. But that's another pain in the ass when they said, oh, users will not see servers. Well, you know what? That would have been really nice to know what server I'm connecting to, because I can tell you for the first month, the game was absolutely unplayable. And I mean, not just bad or poorly performing, I mean impossible to log into. And I know what you're saying, oh, I must have terrible internet. I have 200 megabyte internet at my office with a 1 millisecond ping to my remote gateway. It's all fiber optic. I have fantastic internet. I can upload and download the full 200 meg. And I would get continuous inability to connect to a server. So forget about lag or playing poorly. There just was no servers in Asia. Or was it the world? Honestly, I have no idea. Because you, as a user, you don't get to see anything. You just say, no servers available in your region. And that's it. Great error message. Although, in the last 2-3 weeks at least, there's been servers around. But I get the feeling that the gold rush basically is over, that people will have bought this thing, played it out, and now we're getting all ready for the next big cycle, the next big game, the Groundhog Day effect of Fallout. It's not appealing. It was one of the things I remember saying on Reddit is oh, the people that love the game, I mean, that's great, but how many are going to be playing it a month from now? How many 2 months? How many people in 6 months? How many people in a year? Realistically, how long do these servers have to live? Right now, everyone's saying, oh, this thing will definitely not go free to play. Honestly, I almost feel like free to play would be the only way to save this thing, but it won't matter, because all free to play will do is people will get to go in and witness the wasteland. And, after dealing with that emptiness, if you've not paid anything financially into it, you're just gonna log out, delete, move on. And this has probably gone on a lot longer than I thought it would. So, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna log out, delete, and move on. And you know what? You should too. See you all later.